All right, let's dive into a topic that is absolutely critical to every single business, but often flies completely under the radar: contract management. Now, I know, it might not sound like the most exciting thing in the world, but trust me, getting this right is the difference between having total control and total chaos. Let's get into it.
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll get into the weeds of the manual contract maze, all the risks of doing things the old-fashioned way. Then we'll introduce the solution, CLM automation. We'll break down what that structured lifecycle actually looks like, how it gives you real control with automated alerts, and then we'll wrap up by looking at the incredible value all of this brings to a business.
Okay, let's kick things off with a reality that's probably way too familiar for many of you: the manual contract maze. This is that place where being disorganized isn't just a little messy, it's actively dangerous for the business.
I mean, just think about it for a second. Contracts are saved, well, everywhere, right? On local desktops, in random shared drive folders, buried deep in email threads. This creates a massive problem with version control. You end up asking, is this the final version? Did legal even see this change? When your documents are all over the place, nobody really knows for sure.
And that confusion, it just snowballs into much bigger problems. Suddenly, key obligations and deadlines get completely lost in the fine print. You might blow right past a renewal date, either losing a great contract or, even worse, getting automatically locked into a bad one. Without a clear view of everything, you're basically flying blind.
And let's be crystal clear, we're not just talking about minor administrative headaches here. This kind of disorganization leads to some really serious consequences. We're talking direct financial risk, major compliance issues, inconsistent pricing across vendors, and of course, an absolute nightmare when the auditors show up.
Okay, so if that's the chaos, what's the alternative? This is where Contract Lifecycle Management, or CLM automation, enters the picture. It's all about making that shift from a reactive mess to a proactive, structured, and controlled process. So what is CLM, really? At its core, it's a formal system for governance. It's basically a rulebook for managing the entire journey of a contract, from the moment it's just an idea all the way to its expiration, making sure every single step is handled the right way every time.
And this slide really shows you just how big of a transformation we're talking about. You go from manual chaos, where everything is scattered and risky, to automated control. What was scattered becomes centralized. What was inconsistent becomes standardized. Unclear becomes tracked, and risky becomes governed. It is a fundamental night and day shift in how you operate.
So, the big question is, how does CLM actually achieve this? Well, it works by imposing a structured life cycle on every single contract. So let's break down the core stages that really make this automation tick. It all really starts with 3 foundational steps. First, drafting contracts using standardized, approved templates. Second, maintaining crystal clear version control while you negotiate. And third, using automated workflows to get everything approved. Step 1 is all about starting off on the right foot. When you use standardized, pre-approved templates, you're ensuring that every new contract already has the correct legal language, the right terms, and the proper pricing structures built in. This just completely eliminates those rogue clauses and inconsistencies right from the get-go. Next up is version control. Now this is huge. As the contract is being negotiated back and forth, every single change gets tracked. That whole nightmare question of, wait, which version is the final one? It just disappears. You get a perfect auditable history of who changed what and when they did it.
And once that draft is ready to go, it kicks off an automated workflow. So instead of someone having to manually email it around and chase people down, the system automatically sends it to the right people, whether that's legal, finance, or procurement, all based on rules you set, like the contract's value. No more bottlenecks, no more chasing signatures.
Okay, so the contract is signed, everybody's happy. But what happens next? This is really where CLM's power for ongoing control and monitoring shines. We're moving way beyond just simple storage and into active management.
First things first, every signed contract goes into one single, centralized place. But this isn't just some dusty digital filing cabinet. It's a powerful, completely searchable repository. You can find any contract, any clause, any key date instantly, right when you need it.
And here's where the system starts to get really smart. It actually becomes proactive. It sends out automated alerts for all those critical events, like upcoming expiration dates or performance deadlines. The bottom line is, you never have to worry about missing an important date ever again.
And finally, you can link these contracts directly to your financial documents. By connecting an agreement to its purchase orders and invoices, you can make sure that every transaction, every payment aligns perfectly with the terms that you negotiated. This is how you prevent overpayments and enforce the correct pricing.
So, when you put all of these pieces together, from the structured drafting all the way to the automated monitoring, what's the ultimate result for the business? Well, it all boils down to one incredibly valuable thing: transparency.
The payoff is really simple, but it is so powerful. You get complete transparency into all of your contractual relationships. You ensure compliance, both with your own internal policies and with external regulations. And you finally gain true control over your business's commitments and risks. You know, one of the sources we looked at put it perfectly. It said, CLM reduces manual effort, strengthens governance, and ensures that contractual commitments are honored. At the end of the day, it's all about working smarter, seriously reducing risk, and making sure your company actually gets the value it signed up for.
So we'll leave you with just one final thought to chew on. Now that you've seen what a structured, controlled system looks like, the really essential question you have to ask yourself is this: how much risk and how many missed opportunities are hiding right now in your company's scattered contracts?